Calgary over the weekend, they determined it. They got top seed in the West.
Yeah, and it's funny because people don't love like Calgary doesn't get enough respect for what they've done because they're the only team in the West that's got 100-plus points. And yet, because of their goaltending, what about Smith? What about Riddick? Are they good enough? And because they haven't been there on a perennial basis, so they've gone from way down here to way up there. Mm-hmm. Everybody's kind of like, oh yeah, jury's still out on them. Wait and see. But they've accomplished what not many other Western teams can do, and that is they've been really consistent.
But that's what the narrative will be. Their first game, if Mike Smith has an off night, it'd be like, oh, okay, here we go. That's their Achilles heel. And then what'll happen is they'll go to Riddick. And then it'll almost be like that Dallas scenario. Remember where they were going, Lindy was going to Lettinen to Niemi, back to Let. Like, that's the only scary part for me if I'm the Calgary Flames is Billy Peters is going to have a real pulse on who he wants to play. And a player's allowed to have an off night. If Johnny Gaudreau has an off night, he's going right back out. But when you have a two-goalie system, it's almost automatic. If that goalie doesn't play well, the other guy's got to go in, and then the pressure's on the other guy, and you get into that seesaw battle.
But they are conditioned. That's how they got 105 or 107 points, whatever they've got. That's been their story all year.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Smitty's not good this week, so I'll give it to Riddick, and Riddick goes in, and he's pretty good. And there was a time, very briefly, when both of them weren't very good, but one or the other has given them more than capable goaltending for most of the year.
Yeah.
So all you can do is say, you know what, let's see if it carries on in the playoffs.
They sat a bunch of guys in L.A. last night. It didn't matter. They smoked them.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty post-game was like, can we just end this whole season?
He wants to play 4 games in one day.
And get me the hell out of L.A. quickly and start the summer. The one guy that people were focused on was Matthew Tkachuk.
Gave him the night off.
Gave him the night off. He's a young guy.
Probably a wise decision.
I love that move. Yeah. Because it's not that I don't trust L.A. I wouldn't trust Matthew Tkachuk. I wouldn't trust him running somebody and being like, here we go. Like, do we really need you slashing Drew Doughty up the ice and starting a brawl?
You know, outside of teams like Columbus, Montreal, Carolina, obviously Colorado and Arizona, you know, the vast majority of teams now, it's just all about try and get your house in order, give some guys some rest, get the injured guys back, and don't let anything else bad happen over the next week that will negatively impact you in the playoffs.